Hola. Buenos noches.
G'day, mates.
Good day. I just saw the title of the stream. This is the most meta joke. Yeah, man, we're going like full meta.
If I'm a 7.5 out of 10 sculptor, then what are you?
I have 0.75 out of 10.
Oh. I just saw that now. Okay. All right. I see. Well, we'll get you up to a proper 7.5. Maybe you'll be 7.25 because you'll never be full half like me.
Okay. Well. All right. So we're gonna learn some. Look how tiny this chat box is.
Also, by the way, everyone, this stream was not pre-planned ahead of time. I said to Connor at like 10 o'clock this morning, I'm like, 3D lesson at 1, and then he was like, maybe we could stream it. I was like, sure. So this could be pretty scuffed. Who knows?
It'll be real scuffed. No.
And Connor's eating, just eating food.
Where's
so yeah,
Ben? Where should I put this chat box? What's like the least used thing for ZBrush? Like the space.
I would probably just open ZBrush and then we'll see what happens.
Oh yeah, that's fair. Is that So guys, I've never sculpted anything before. I've opened ZBrush once, but is opening ZBrush typically the first step for this sort of thing?
Yes, step 1 of the lesson
is open up the ZBrush program.
So something I say all the time on my sculpting streams, I am absolutely not a highly advanced user of ZBrush. So if you are wanting to deep dive into this app, I would highly recommend jumping on YouTube and finding, I think there's like 2 or 3 guys, I forget their names. I think one of them is like Michael something. There's like Pixelogic too, who had like the company that makes ZBrush. There's way better resources out there to learn ZBrush. That's how I learned. Sean Sutter as well. The guy who is the creative Relic Blade and Sludge. Be a great time to plug sludge heads.
Oh, sludge heads? You mean those products we released this week for converting sludge miniatures?
Look at that fucking Segway. I was about to say Sedgeway.
Look at those Sedgeways, bro.
Yeah, Sedgeway's flying at you. He did a really great series about his process too. So if you're at all wanting to learn, I don't think I'm the guy to teach you, but I don't know, maybe you'll learn something. Anyway, so as you can see, you've covered up a bunch of the really important parts of ZBrush without heads.
Have I? Because there's like nothing below them.
I mean, there's going to be.
Okay, well, I can move them once we get my setup.
I would almost make us quite small and put us on the bottom corners, like, because I mean,
Ben, people tune in to see us.
I mean, they tune in just literally for this reason. So I think the bottom left is fine.
I'm gonna put us in the bottom middle.
All right. Okay, so welcome to ZBrush. This program is ridiculously confusing. I would say, as someone that's been using some pretty confusing programs in my life, like Photoshop and Illustrator and Blender and that kind of thing, ZBrush kind of takes it to a whole different level, and there's a lot of stuff that this program does that is kind of counterintuitive to what you originally consider when you're using apps. Like, there's a lot of universal functions on a computer that are kind of different. But for 3D users, maybe less so. So first of all, this is like the default config, like the default interface. I have set up an interface for myself that I've used a lot. So what you want to do is you want to go, well, I guess I'll walk you through the different things. So at the top, you've got the light box, which is this bar that's open here right now, which is kind of just like your like expanded options. You've got projects, so it has all the default projects. So if you want to go ahead and click on the default project ZP, the sphere at the basically the first sphere in that first line in the middle.
Yeah. Just double click it.
Yeah, just double click it. Open that. It's a good like default project. Just to sometimes when I start, I just like open this and it like expands the work area and stuff. You can do all that manually. It's just like for me, I just always click on it. And then if you go back and click on the light box at the top.
Light box. Oh, this thing that says light box.
Yeah. Now you're operating on a bit of a delay. So,
yeah. Justin Grief is like. Thanks for Justin for the likes.
You've got project, you've got tool, you've got brush. So click on the brush one.
Click on the brush. Okay.
So it'll show a lot of the additional brushes. ZBrush has all these default brushes that you can access with the brush menu, but there's expanded brush options, and when you add custom brushes, you copy them into the folder and they'll show up here. There's ways you can have it so they show up as default. I've never messed with that though, because it's just one step further. Alright, so and then click on alpha. So the alpha one is one that you'll use a lot of. Alphas are kind of like texture maps. They're really cool. We'll go into that a little bit, maybe if we have time.
Are
there's
all
like
of these
material.
Things like this is all what comes with ZBrush?
Yeah, this is all just like default stuff. So brush and alpha are the two that you will use when you're sculpting and creating in ZBrush. I've literally never touched material, never touched noise, fibers, any of that shit. I don't. When you're working on a miniature creation workflow, I guarantee you, if you want to be a miniature sculptor, you will never touch any of that stuff. If you work in the similar way that I do. Don't ever
What if I want to make
texture.
a fern? What if I make a fern plant? I would use fibers there, wouldn't I?
No.
I want to make an alien
because you would sculpt. I mean, yeah. Look, maybe there's some way that you could in a very complex way, render it and do it like that. But that's not kind of the workflow I use.
Is it made for sculpting physical models, or is it at its core for like video games?
I would say the way it was originally intended was it was a more complex sculpting app for like 3D workflow. And I think that now it's a lot better for physical sculpting. So when you want to sculpt something for 3D printing, it's kind of like one of the best apps for that. Again, this goes back to I'm nowhere near an advanced user of this program. So there's a ton of shit. Like every time I do a sculpt, I tend to learn something new, which is kind of fun when you're kind of an artist and you're trying to learn new techniques and stuff. So if you want to like click your right mouse button, you can, no, don't do that yet. Stop that.
Yeah, I can like move it around.
You'll orbit around. If you press shift, it'll bring you back to the front. So hold down.
What did I do?
Is it working? What have you done?
Can you? No.
And then if you hold down control and click your right mouse button, you can zoom in and out.
Oh, okay. All right.
So this is the one thing that like
why can't I just use the scroll wheel? That's
right.
Oh, I've turned on the mirror function.
So you can hit X to turn that off.
Okay. Perfect.
So that's symmetry. Symmetry is great. You'll love symmetry.
Do I like move? Why when I go left and right does it like orbit right now? Did I move this thing?
What are you just like holding down your right mouse button and moving around?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine does that too. I think it's because you have perspective mode turned on.
Oh, okay.
If you hold down Alt and right click,
I see how you
pan.
Move. Oh, okay.
It's a pan. So these are relatively universal, like controls for ZBrush, like for 3D programs. They usually operate on that. And then if you're moving around, you hit shift. It'll snap. It'll snap you into like a.
It like constrains it to your. views.
Yeah, it'll just move like to the X, Y, Z axes. So if you're like doing a lot of crazy stuff and then you need to just like snap to like an angle, it's a quick way to do that. Down on the right hand side, you've got the tool menu, and there's like a lot of tools. There's a lot of sections like subtool, geometry, array mesh, thick skin, layers, etc. This is where it gets kind of overwhelming when you're first like starting.
Okay.
But just for now, we won't worry about that type of stuff. If you go to the left hand, where it says standard at the top, and click that, it'll open up the default brush palette.
Wow.
These are just the basics that come with the program. There's a lot of them. There's a lot that you'll never use. Underneath, it'll have dots. So click on that. The thing underneath the brush palette says dots. So you got dots, drag, rectangle, freehand, color spray. So these are just like the different types of functions that brushes can perform. And you'll see those, you can apply an alpha to a brush. So the one underneath that, it's like an alpha. So for instance, go back to press, let's see. That's the standard brush. See, I'm like so used to using my interface that this is.
Do you want me to like update it?
We'll do that in a sec. I just kind of want to like give you a tour first. So you want to get back to the standard brush. Where is that? Oh my god.
I've made a rock.
Okay. Click B, S, and then T.
B, S, T.
Alright, it'll bring up standard brush. So for instance, if you want to apply like an alpha to a brush, when sculpt mode is activated, just Sculptress Pro. Do not switch.
I don't know if I did or not.
So just undo some of that. There you go. And then click on the dots thing. Click drag rectangle.
Dots, drag rectangle.
And then click underneath the alpha. And then select like alpha. Let's see, alpha 10, the star.
Alright. Oh.
So what? If you press spacebar before you drag it out,
yeah,
it'll bring up a menu. So hold it down. Turn the focal shift all the way to -100.
Okay.
And then the Z intensity, turn that to like 45 or something. I'm just going to drag a star out.
Alright, what do these things do?
So the focal shift is like the fall off of a. So if you think about in Photoshop, you have hard brushes as a perfect circle, and you have soft brushes, which are like soft edge. It's like a feathering thing, right?
Okay.
Think of it like a feathering. Z intensity is how powerful the brush is. So the higher, the more it's going to fire out the material. So that's like, that kind of explains the alpha. So click on the star and change the alpha to something else.
Okay, hold on a second. I need to turn that up to... I have to change it like every time. I want to do this one.
So you've changed it to blob. So click B, S, and then T. You've changed the brush type.
Ah, okay. And then I'll do this curvy one. And then I need to turn the intensity up to like 50.
Yeah, give that a shot.
Oh.
So it's really low poly right now. So if you while you've done that, so hit Control D a couple of times.
Oh, okay. That's decimate. That like adds a lot more polys to it.
So that's divide. So click Control Z a couple of times, and you'll see the top right, the active points will
Yes.
go up and down.
Trying to figure out movement.
Yeah, the movement is like.
Oh, I see. Active points.
Yeah. So dividing is just like it's taking every poly and it's dividing it. So you're adding more geometry. So you have to be careful with that though. Typically, my most complex sculpts, the most I've ever had on like a super complex vehicle thing was like 12 million. So even though you think you need more polys, you'll often not need them as much as you think.
So and I just put this to 11.985 million points. That's a lot?
Yeah, you don't need that. Also, your ZBrush is gone from your stream.
That's interesting. Oh wait, did I? Oh, apparently Control Shift something is a there we go. Is a hotkey for my Streamlabs.
Interesting. The other thing too is if you hold down Alt, it's gonna subtract. So there's add and there's subtract. So if you hold down Alt and then click and drag, it'll push the shape into the model.
How do I get rid of my total points?
So just Control Z.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Oh yeah, you fucked up. So we could decimate it down, but probably the easiest thing to do is to just open a new. So just go Lightbox and then open default project with the sphere in it. So click project.
Yeah, I got it.
There you go.
All right. So...
ZBrush will always say that this project has changed. Do you want to save? Like, if you've literally saved it, and then the next second later you'll save it again, it'll say it's changed and you need to resave it. It's weird. It frustrates me all the time. So yeah, you can like drag out a bunch of stuff. You can also change it so you know the brush is subtracting or adding without holding down Alt, but after a while you sort of just get used to it. Also, you close your ZBrush again.
Yeah, well, Control Shift D is the hotkey, so.
Oh, weird.
I need to.
All right.
Why would I?
So what you want to do is you want to go Preferences, Config, and you probably don't want to show people our OneDrive folders. By the way. So at the very top, hit Preferences, hit Config, and go Load UI.
All right. And then
go to the folder that I created for you.
ZBrush Assets and UI3DG.
Yep.
Open.
Yep.
Okay. Is this what yours looks like?
Let me compare it. Yeah, that looks about the same. So this is my UI that I use. I put my brushes down the bottom, as you can see.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, replying to my wife. I've added my most used buttons on the top bar and the bottom bar. I've added some stuff down the bottom, like back face mask and a lot of things like that we'll kind of get into. But let's say you want to build a... let's do like something very basic.
Does the scroll wheel do anything?
I don't think so.
Why doesn't the scroll wheel zoom in and out?
I don't know.
Hey.
I actually don't know. I think I've honestly never actually figured out why. I'm assuming that you can bind the scroll wheel to something. I don't know. I've just never questioned that. It's weird. I think it's because I've I came into ZBrush from other 3D programs, so I was just kind of like, oh, okay, this is how it is. You can see on the right the like button options. There's like dynamic perspective if you turn that off and on. I often work with dynamic perspective turned off. It's kind of weird, like, because I'm always like lining stuff up, and if you have perspective on, it messes up the like symmetry and stuff.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Let's see. There's the symmetry and there's local symmetry. So if you want to turn symmetry on, so hit X and then hit local symmetry.
I see.
It's going to apply the symmetry just to that particular mesh, as opposed to something that might be like the symmetry it might apply to the model as a whole. So symmetry is honestly pretty sick. It's like, I work with symmetry all the time. It's one of the best things about working digitally, in my opinion. Obviously, you don't want to use it all the time, because otherwise everything looks perfectly symmetrical.
How do you switch it from like the X and the Y axis? Like, what if I wanted it symmetrical somewhere else?
We can get into that. Yeah, you can just change the axis. I guess I'd tell you right now. So if you go up to transform, up the top, there's a symmetry. It says X, Y, Z, M, and then R. If you click, change it to, well, just turn Y and Z on as well.
I feel like I'm looking like right at this thing. Am I X, Y, Z? What's happening? Oh, active symmetry.
Yeah.
Ooh, ho, ho, ho. Oh, yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. Now we're getting into annihilation territory here.
Yeah, you'll crash your program, so don't do that. So click BST. Bring yourself back to the standard brush. Oh, wait, you're already on it. Sorry. Yeah. So go to alpha.
Off.
And click alpha 1.
Alpha 1. Okay. Turn off symmetry.
And then turn it back to freehand from drag rectangle.
Okay.
And then turn your focal shift back up to like 0.
Okay.
And then just like draw around on the circle a little bit. With symmetry on.
Oh, with symmetry on.
Yeah.
That's X. Yeah. It's pretty neat.
So can undo that, and then go back up to transform, and hit the R.
Oh my gosh.
So go back up to transform and turn off Y and Z.
Oh, the dots. Learning to sculpt AO, turn off Y and Z, leave M on.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. I can
so
make
that's radial. That's radial symmetry. So it takes the symmetry, applies it around the radius. All right. So just turn radial off and leave X on. I always work as like the X-axis as being my front. I don't know why. It's just like, I think that's just a habit of mine.
Is the X the blue axis?
Yeah. So if you click on any of the axes up the top, it'll snap them as well.
Right.
And if you click on them, it'll flip from front to back. So that's pretty handy. All right, let's talk about, so that's like brushes. So I guess click B, CL. Click BCL.
Okay, so B is your brushes. C, so that's like what they're called. Just like,
Yeah.
so S is, okay, B, C, and then L is,
So that's just call. Well,
what, no? What is L? L is clay.
It should be clay. Yeah, that's just like another standard brush.
Okay.
You know. And click BCB.
BCB.
This is just straight clay. So this is like old school, like, you know, strips of clay. So if you ever did like pottery in high school.
I did woodworking in high
Are
school.
you clicking these on your keyboard?
Yeah.
And it's not a. Why did it open soft concrete?
A hit BC. Oh, I hit BSB.
There you go.
Ah, I see.
So clay strips is good for like if you're doing like folds or like more organic stuff. You know, it's got a lot of texture, and it's a good way to like build up. You know, geometry. You know, if you're doing it in a way that's a bit more in like a artistic way, I want to say, as opposed to like a more technical way, as if you were 3D model.
I feel like I'm gonna be doing more technical stuff.
Maybe. All right, let's go over. So that's using brushes and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
That would be if you're drawing with your tablet and you want to mess around with that. So there's masking. So if you hold down Control, and you'll notice it changes in the top left to be a mask. So masking in ZBrush is like another pretty, you know.
Control, holding Control.
So hold down Control, and,
okay.
And then if you click in the top right, it's going to open up the menu that has all the mask options.
Okay, Control, click, mask. Okay. Oh.
So masking is like another very common thing. If you're doing hard edge modeling, it's going to be your most used. So just click mask rectangle.
Okay.
And then not on the model, click and drag outside of the model, and it's going to clear your mask that you've applied.
Oh, have to. Okay, I see.
But you always have to be holding down Control to use the masks.
Right. Yeah.
So hold down Control and mask something, just like a square out of the model. It's like a little area.
Yeah.
And then click and drag off of it. It's going to clear the mask. So let's say you want to use the mask for something, right?
Okay.
So click and drag, mask a little area off.
I've done that.
And then holding down Control, don't click and drag, but just click off of the model. So not on the geometry.
Inverses it?
It inverts the mask.
Yeah.
So that's a very common thing that you'll use. And then the other thing that you can do, so if you want to clear the mask, it's click and drag off the model.
Yeah.
Right? If you want to invert the mask, it's just click off the model. If you want to sharpen or feather the mask, so mask something, and then Control click on the model, and it's going to feather the mask and it's going to soften it.
Okay.
And if you want to tighten it, it's Control Alt click on the model.
Gotcha.
It seems confusing. It's a bit to remember for now, I know, but you know, it becomes second nature the more you use it, obviously. So let's say you want to use the mask for something. So invert the mask that you have.
Okay.
So Control click off the model.
Yeah.
And then down the bottom, you'll see an inflate. It's a little slider with a yellow thing. You don't need to. You don't need to keep holding down Control. The mask will stay applied. You can drag that up and down, and it'll inflate the geometry. You can inflate it in. You can inflate it out. This is a very easy way of just like transforming shapes in a bit more of a controlled way. Now, I know what you're thinking. Yo, the geometry's all whack, right? That's because we're working with something that's really low poly right now.
Yeah.
You can clean up the poly count by dynameshing it at a larger thing, but we won't get into that right now. The principles are the same whether you have, geometry or no geometry. There's cleaner ways that you can do this. Again, this is just like if I'm doing something real loose and fast. So let's say drag and click off that and leave it,
Yep.
and then hit Control D a couple of times, just like twice.
All right.
And it's gonna
Soften it up.
Yeah, it's gonna soften it up a little bit, but you're still kind of like pretty ragged, right?
Yeah.
Do you have like another circle inside that circle? What's going on with that?
My square clipped. My square was like this, and it
So click the subtool menu on the left menu bar. It's gonna bring down your list of stuff.
Subtool left menu bar.
Sorry, right. It's on the right.
Right menu bar. Okay.
Okay. I don't know how you got 3 circles, but
because I drew the square frontwards and it went through the whole thing.
You see just below a little bit, there's delete. So just delete that one, and it'll make you confirm it. Just click OK.
Sorry, the polyspheres? What am I deleting?
Just the one with all the gross geometry on it for now. So it's selected, and then just hit delete, and it'll delete that.
It's not deleting.
You have to hit. You can't hit the delete button. It's work.
What? What are you
So delete. There's a delete thing underneath.
Oh!
New folder, rename, all copy, duplicate, delete.
Okay. Why do I have so many polyspheres?
I don't know. And then just delete 2 of them, so you just got 1.
Okay.
A couple of things with ZBrush again that are weird. If you delete something, it's gone forever.
Yeah, okay.
You cannot undo. If you delete something or if you merge something and you didn't mean to do that and you haven't saved, you are stuck with it. There's a couple of ways you can get back from there, but if you delete something, that's it. It's gone. Again, very strange. It must be the way the program's constructed somehow. So let's just mask a section again and inflate it out.
Because it's like going through the entire sphere, right? The mask does.
Yeah, so it'll mask all the way through something.
Okay, so let's say I want to. There we go. I selected the other side, and I've inflated it out. I now have a weird mushroom.
Okay. And then deselect the mask.
Yep.
Control drag. And then let's say we want to dynamesh this at a bit more of a
higher fidelity.
Higher thing. So let's say it's currently, what do you got? You got 10,000. So let's take it up to like 400 resolution.
All right, went to 700,000.
Yeah. So anytime you want to dynamesh something, you control, click, and drag a mask outside. You don't have to actually mask it. You just control, drag outside of the model, and it's going to re-dynamesh it if dynamesh is turned on. So let's say you want to.
Oh, I see.
You'll see the geometry will shift. So let's say you down the bottom left, there's a thing called Damn Star. You'll see the brush.
Bottom
so
left.
let's say
Or is it
Bottom left.
right, you mean? Bottom left.
Bottom left.
Clay
says,
ball. Ah, yes.
Just like click that, drag some lines on your thing.
Yep.
Right? And then Dynamesh it. Control click drag.
Oh.
You'll see it'll like...
Oh. That's the wrong thing. Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's like Dynameshing is... it's sometimes messy, but what it's doing is it's making the entire thing also manifold. So it's giving you really clean geometry all the way around the outside of the shape. So for modeling for 3D printing, it's very important to use Dynamesh. Otherwise, you end up with junk geometry on the inside of your, parts and things like that.
And
if
you just
merge
do that by control clicking off to the side.
Yeah, but if Dynamesh is turned on, so you could turn it off, right? And it won't. So sometimes you don't want a Dynamesh. Like when I'm working on like a face, for instance, and I have all the detail and stuff, you don't want to Dynamesh it because it'll sometimes blur it a little bit.
Right. It looks
so
like
when you work,
it looks like it does get rid of some of the detail.
It does, but that's because you're Dynameshing at a low count.
Right?
I
see.
You can turn it up, but obviously you understand that the polys will go up, right?
Right.
So let's so that's masking. That's Dynameshing, right?
So I got brushes, I got masking, I got Dynamesh. And so the Dynamesh it is consolidating down to a set number of polygons and making it one exterior geometry.
Yeah, so let's say I've made a model, right? Let's say I've made a killer.
Okay.
And he's a one-part model, right? But obviously he's not, I don't sculpt him in one part, right? He's 30 different parts. Well, I merge them all together, and then I Dynamesh him, and it's going to merge everything into the one same manifold piece. It's like everything in the exterior is one skin, right?
Right.
So let's put two shapes together. So down the bottom, basically the middle, you'll see an append thing. Click append and append a cube to your document.
I'm going to do a ring instead.
You can do whatever you want, man.
Okay, I did a ring. Oh, I see. Oh, it's like in it. Okay. And
all right. So then
on that and
in the top,
and I've inflated it.
The top right, there's a move thing. It says edit, draw, move.
Top right.
So click move, and it's going to bring up. Sorry, top left.
Top left. Okay.
I don't know my right from my left. Okay, I don't.
That's what we're learning.
This is why I'm a 7.5 out of 10 sculptor. Okay, so this opens up something called the gizmo. All right. This thing is pretty powerful. Now, there's two ways that you can move and distort shapes in ZBrush. All right. There's the gizmo. And there's the transpose thing. I don't use transpose very often. Spatially, I don't like it, but it is more powerful, and it's probably a better thing to use.
So I'm using gizmo?
This is the gizmo. So this is like, it's a lot more structured. Like you move left to right, you can pull the boxes, and it'll stretch the geometry.
Yeah.
The rings will rotate the geometry along those axes.
Okay. Yeah.
The gray circle, you can rotate it, but it's obviously by the camera view that you have. Often when I'm posing a dolly, it's very easy for me spatially to just grab the arm and rotate along the red or the blue or whatever. Again, this is just a personal preference for mine. And let's say, and obviously the yellow box inside is a scale, uniform scale.
Yeah.
So let's say you want to append that ring inside that sphere. So scale it so the inside of the ring is touching the sphere.
Yeah, it's touching like the weird things I've pushed out. Now, what if I wanted to? So like, what if I want to? I guess I can. Then you move. How does it select?
So if you want to select a different object, you alt-click on it.
Okay, so alt-click that. Alt-click. Oh, so if I have move open and I'm moving this, I can move that, and then.
Oh, and okay, hold on. If you alt-click other places while you have the gizmo selected, it's going to snap the gizmo to that point.
Yeah, and
right,
that's
so
like your frame of reference for.
Right, but you've moved it away from the center, which is why if you notice down in the very bottom middle, there's go to unmasked center. Okay, so if you want to snap the gizmo back to there, you just click that. It's going to take you to the center.
Okay.
All right.
So I want to tilt this slightly more like that, and then I can move it down so it's more even. And then I can check my perspectives.
So the other thing, you'll notice that the gizmo is like off kilter, right? It's not framed with the X, Y, and Z. So if you have if you want to use the shortcut for that, it's just W, by the way, for the gizmo. While you have the gizmo selected, you click the lock symbol up with the gizmo. It's a little lock symbol. Padlock.
Oh, I
click
see.
it.
Yep.
And then the one next to it is reset orientation.
And that resets it to like the.
Resets it to the universal XYZ, right? And then make sure you lock it again after you do that. Yeah. Now, if you reset the orientation while it's locked, it's going to reset the object too, which sometimes can be useful. Okay.
So if I wanted to, so I can reset, click this, reset, and now they're both like on the same plane. Kind of.
Yeah, it's like it's resetting the
gotcha.
geometry as well. I don't do that very often, but it can be helpful if you want to. All right, so let's say you want to merge those two bad boys together. So click on your sphere.
Yeah, hold on. Uno momento, por favor. Okay, click on my sphere with the W, just over here.
Just on the subtool. The subtool, yeah, click there. And then in the top left side, there's merge down and merge visible.
This is top left side of my screen.
Sorry, top right.
Son of a gun.
It's like tripping me up because I have my screens. I got, so
top
I'm trying
right.
It's next to Dynamesh.
Okay, merge down, merge visible. Yep. Okay.
Merge down. Click merge down. It's going to merge that into the subtool below it. And hit OK.
So it's based on its order in this window.
Yeah. It doesn't mean it's going to merge all the way down. It's just merging the top subtool into the bottom subtool. Again, you have to be really careful when you're merging, because if you merge two things together and then you Dynamesh them, you get stuck. So now you want to Dynamesh them together. So before you Dynamesh, zoom in. Did you already Dynamesh it?
Yeah, I undid it though.
So undo and then zoom in to the connection point between the ring and the thing, and you'll see that the geometry is not connected. The geometry is inside of itself.
Oh yeah, just like intersected.
Right. Before you merge, on the right hand, there's a thing that says line fill, and it's got like a graph box.
Right hand, line fill with the graph box. I see.
Click that, and it'll turn orange.
Okay.
And then click line, and it's going to remove the polys.
Click line.
It's just going to show you colors.
Where is the word line?
The word line is on the box. It says line and there's fill. You can toggle each of them off.
I see.
So just toggle off line and then zoom out.
Okay.
Alright, for some reason they're both the same poly group. I assume that's because So typically they would be two different colors, right? The ring would be a different color than the sphere, and I think maybe they are slightly. They're just like
well,
they're just like similar shades of green. So shift click on the ring.
Okay.
Sorry, control shift click.
Control shift click on it. Oh, yep.
And did the sphere disappear?
It did.
Okay. And then control shift click on that again.
Yep.
All right. So this is what's called polygroups, right? So it's going to assign all the geometry a different group, right? Called a polygroup.
Okay.
And this can be a really powerful thing when you're working on pretty complex stuff. If you dynamesh them together, it's going to keep the polygroups, but it's going to merge the geometry, right? So you can have a model that is the same geometry but has multiple polygroups in it.
And you can go in and edit the polygroups.
And you can go in and edit it. It gets a bit messy, but there's a lot of really fun things that you can do with it. You can also have a model that is not dynameshed, right? With multiple polygroups. And that's when you can start to, before you go in and dynamesh something, you can edit specific sections, right? But it's still one subtool.
Yeah.
So you can split it too if you want to split it back into its individual parts. And I'll show you how to do that. So on the right sidebar, where it says subtool,
yep.
So scroll down a little bit. Underneath delete, it says split.
Split.
So click.
Okay.
Click groups split, and then hit OK. And it's going to split the two things back into its original parts.
Ah, okay. Could you do that if it's dynameshed together already?
You can, but it won't have geometry where it's joined. So where it's joined, it will delete any excess. So let's just merge down again, and we'll dynamesh them together.
Oh, now it's purple. Okay, and then to dynamesh, Control D.
No, that's divide.
That's divide.
To dynamesh, it's Control, click, and drag on the outside of.
Oh, that's right. Oh, okay. And now if I zoom in, it's like the joint
It's like
is joined, but it's
actually
like kind of ugly.
Right. So it's kept the polygroups. So in this case, just hit Control W, and it's going to assign a fresh polygroup for everything.
Okay. Yeah, look at that.
Right.
Okay.
So let's say you want to add a bit more geometry. So go up to Dynamesh, turn it up from 64 to like 400, and then Dynamesh it again.
Didn't look. I'm gonna divide it and then dynamesh it.
No, don't do that.
Oh, I just did that. Okay.
So dividing and dynameshing are different things.
Oh, okay.
They can provide you somewhat similar purposes, but they are different. All right, so let's say you want to smooth out some of this stuff. So zoom in to like an area that's kind of ugly.
Yeah.
One of those joins.
Yeah.
And hold down Shift, and it's gonna change your brush from red to blue. And then while holding down Shift, click and drag, like hold it, keep holding it down, and then paint over some of those areas. It's gonna smooth out. So that's smoothing. It basically takes all the geometry and like I think it just averages it out. Smoothing's really good, but you can also like paint away a lot of your detail.
Right.
So that's smooth.
Okay.
Again, if you're hard edge modeling, it's not really something you'll need to use very often, but it still, provides a function. All right, so let's say you want to make What did you want to make?
You want to make those thruster things? Would that be like a good
Alright.
idea?
I'm gonna use the bathroom, and then we will do that.
I'm also gonna, I will also be right back.
I guess. It's a toilet break, guys. Everyone take 5. And then I'll show you how to make those little thruster things.
Yeah, okay.
Alright. Be right back. I am back. How's everyone doing today? More importantly, what are you doing at 2:25 on a Friday watching the two of us? You should be living your lives. You should be enjoying yourself.
Alright, let's get back to the desktop view. Here we are.
Just got your resin printer delivered. Well, you know, he sells some sick 3D models on their website. Some Black Site Studio people do.
That's us.
Yeah. And you can buy Connor's Saturn STL Saturn block cancerous looking thing for like $60 pretty soon.
It's had some issues, okay.
Alrighty, so let's make something. So you want to make those thrustery things, right?
I don't know, I just thought that might be like a good thing to make.
Sure. Kringler. Nice. All right, so let's make that. So stop working on that. Stop it. So you want to do you want to append in a square.
Well, we need to get rid of this thing first, right?
Yeah, we will. So just append in a square.
How do I zoom out?
Hold down Control and drag.
I got it. Okay. Append in a square. So that is append
cube. I should say cube is the correct term.
Okay.
And then select your. Oh, okay. So you already have it selected. So delete that thing.
Why doesn't the delete key work? Doesn't make any sense. Okay, hold on. So I'm gonna hit this thing, and then I'm gonna like make it kind of bigger, right? Let me pull up a photo of this thing.
No, you don't need to make it bigger.
Oh, I need to make it like I'm adjusting the ratio of it.
Oh, okay. I'll open a picture of it, just so I have that.
Alright, so yeah, it's like kind of like a block of bread. It's kind of like...
Yeah, it's, what would you call it? Trapezoid shape? I think there's a name for it.
Trapezoid? Yeah, I think this is it. I just need to like skew this face.
Alright, so I'm going to make it along with you, just so I can like make sure I'm doing this correctly. So let's say you want to taper it.
Right.
Right? So while you have the gizmo selected, okay, what you want to do is there's a gear symbol. It's next to, there's like a map pin, a little thing, a house, and there's a gear wheel. So click the gear wheel, it's going to open up a menu.
Yeah, 1 second, hold on. I'm doing some important things.
Before you open up into that, just rotate it to like an isometric view.
Okay, yep, alright, so I've rotated it, perfect. And now there's a gear symbol?
Yeah, it's the one on the left of the gizmo selections.
Left of the left gear symbol.
Yeah, gear symbol.
Oh, on the thing, okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
So if I say it's on the gizmo, it's that little bar of stuff.
Yeah.
So these are like super powerful tools. I use them all the time. There's a bunch of them. So bend curve is really good. Inflate, smooth, all sorts of things like that. It's like bevel, crease, pretty sick. The one you want to use is taper. So that's one you want to use right now. So hit taper, and it's going to open up. It's going to put a little pin on every face. And then you've got an XYZ pin in the corner, and you've got a little white pin in the bottom. So what you want to do is you want to taper either the top or the bottom out, or the top in. So, okay, so you're messing with it. So the white is going to smooth the angle, right? And then if you want to change the, if you turn off one of the axes, so the green, the red, or the blue, it's going to disable the smooth on that particular axis. So let's say you just want to taper it like outwards across the y-axis, for instance. You can turn that off, and it'll, you can mess with it later, and it's fairly self-explanatory. But we want to taper
it. How do I turn it off? Oh, I see. I see.
But because this is like a fairly straightforward, just like tapered rectangle. That would do.
Probably do like that. I think that looks pretty good. Is there a hotkey for like going back to 0
On your camera?
Yeah, like going back
Yeah,
to like
so
default view.
it's the one on the right underneath the local symmetry that says frame. If you hit frame, it's going to frame it in the center. But to go back to 0, you just want to click shift as you're rotating the camera around with your right click.
That's right.
Frame is going to frame it like nice and neatly in the center for you. So you might want to zoom out a little bit.
Yeah, I need to turn off my...
I would maybe taper it a little bit more than that.
Okay.
Just because, if this thing's going to be a little...
exaggerated a little bit. Okay. Why did Windows put a key?
How do you pronounce it? Trapezoid?
Yeah, like PAH. Trapezoid.
Oh, I'd say trapezoid. That's how I say it. So you can arrest me if you want.
I wish I could.
So to apply that, you want to click the gear. You see the gear is like kind of faded out a little bit, but it's still there.
Yeah. Accept.
So you click it and hit accept. Yeah. I'll say trapezoid as much as I want, bro.
Okay. So now I need to make...
So,
like
just
cylinder.
out of interest, hit Control D a couple of times.
Control D. Oh.
So it's gonna smooth the geometry a little bit, right?
Yeah.
You don't need to hit it too many times. Like 500,000 polys is probably way too many, but twice is probably enough.
Okay.
And then at the very bottom, it's got delete lower. So just hit delete lower, and it's gonna. So when you're subdividing a shape, it's somewhat dynamic. So you can like divide it up and down, and it'll remember those points, right? If you're working like me, I'll divide it and just delete. So it's almost like a quick Dynamesh for me.
Okay.
There's a lot though that you can do if you want to save your divide points, and you can restore them and all sorts of shit. So let's make a.
You're pulling a cylinder, right?
Yeah, so when you're looking at a shape, right, everything can be broken down into basic primitives.
Yeah. Oh, this is more of a cone.
Right, it's a cone. So on the sidebar, you don't have the cylinder selected. Now, you want the cylinder, you don't want the cone. So click that, and then hit frame.
Oh, so when you pull it in, it just goes in the middle of your thing.
Yeah, so hold down Control and zoom out.
Yeah, and then I'll hit the move, and then I can like mess with it.
Yeah.
So I need to put it like kind of like more towards the front of this thing.
Yeah, so because you're working with subtools, you don't need to like put it in its place like right now. You just build it separately.
Alright, so I'll just like move it kind of off to the side.
Yeah, and while you're rotating, you can hold down shift and it'll snap it to, like if you want to rotate something 90 degrees, it'll snap it for you. That's quite handy. Now, you want to be careful because you're rotating outside of your set geometry. So
am I? How do you know that?
Because you were clicking on the gray for a second.
Oh, I see. I see. Yeah.
And then use the taper again. So click the gear wheel, use the taper, and then pull maybe like the front or the back. Pull the back in or the front out.
So do that, and then use the white to make it more conical. Actually, I want it to be like kind of bulging a little bit, so like around there.
Damn flies getting me.
Yeah,
I'd pull the back in a little bit, just to exaggerate it.
Need to like make it longer again. So I'll hit accept on this.
Yeah, hit accept, and then it'll bring the gizmo back, and you can Use
There we
the
go.
standard tools to extrude it out like that. There you go.
And it'll be like, how do I, let's scale, how do I just move it? Click it?
Click the arrow, the arrows.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so move arrows. And like, so yeah, it's a little stubby. The other ones are still like pretty long. And they're also like quite a bit thinner. Can I apply?
Scott, you're such a fucking troll, dude.
I can just say things like re.
So you don't need to apply gizmo functions. They're just like basic. So the only ones you need to apply are these specific transforms.
Right. So I want to retransform this taper though. Can I taper a tapered thing?
You can. It's not always clean, but you can give it a shot. Yeah.
Because like the end of this thing is like pretty small.
Once you've applied the taper, you can't go back in and edit it, but you can leave them. You can leave them like not applied for a while, and if you think you need to go back and edit them.
How would I? So like right now, I want to. I guess I could just do this. Yeah, this feels a bit better, right?
Yeah, I mean it looks good to me.
Okay.
So hold down Control and just let it snap to like. Hold down Control Shift, let it snap while you're rotating it, and it'll make it a lot easier for you to line it up.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because you're like on some weird view, and you're never going to be able to get it lined up that way.
Okay. Okay. And now I can Control C, Control V. No. So like.
No, none of that shit works, dude.
On this photo, so this is like the main like nozzle thing, right? This little nozzle is like essentially the same shape. Can I copy this, flip it around, and shrink it to use for this like interior bit?
Yeah, I'm about to show you. I'm about to show you how to do that. So again, rotate, orbit your camera with a right click and hit Shift, so you're like at a nice plan view of it.
Okay, rotate my camera like from the side. Okay. I don't like being in the side, but okay.
Well, just trust me. So you see that you can also click those too. You see that your gizmo is like off, so unlock it, reset it, and then lock it again.
Yep. Okay,
and then hold down Control. Right?
Yep.
And click and drag the red arrow towards the trapezoid.
Oh, I'm holding down Alt a bit. So that's like your Control D sort of situation.
So that's what that's doing. And again, you've gotten your gizmo like off whack, so you got to get it back to. So you see the other side of the shape is masked out, right? So what you've done is you duplicated the geometry inside this subtool, right? So you haven't made a new subtool. Sometimes you might want to duplicate it completely into a completely new subtool, right?
Yeah.
So that's fine as is, right? You probably just want to leave that. And then Control drag to clear the mask.
And now they're like the same thing.
They're the same thing. They're not Dynamesh together though, so it's separate geometry, but it's the same. And then let's do the like ribbing, I guess, on this thing. There's a couple of ways we can do this. Let me just quickly test it on my program here.
I feel like this is maybe too big. Where's my photo?
I wouldn't worry about the shape right now.
Okay, so ribbon. Do I do rings? Am I gonna radially, can't say that word. Gonna draw it?
I am looking up how to do this real quick. Because I did this the other day and I forgot what the button is for it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the problem is because it's like... Because it's a tapered cylinder, the way that I thought we could maybe do that. So on the polygroup color thing,
Yeah.
right? Click line, turn line back on. It'll show you the line,
Okay.
the actual geometry that you're working with.
Yep.
And then zoom in on your main nozzle.
Nozzle. I don't know why that word. Nozzle.
You guys don't say nozzle?
Nozzle.
Listen, you've known me for quite a while. I'm pretty sure you've heard me say nozzle at some point.
Is that what you would call this?
Did you divide this down? Did
Yeah.
you divide this? Okay, you didn't want to do that.
Okay,
So-
I undid it.
Okay. So just if you typically with the hard edge stuff, you want to just try and keep it as this base block geometry as much as you can. So let's say we want to do some ribbed lines, right? So bring it into a nice plan view along the side.
Yep.
So rotate, hit shift, and it'll snap. Or you can click the snap view.
Mm-hmm.
And then hold down control.
Okay.
And then try mask rectangle.
Just across the whole object, or?
Actually, that's not work. Change it to mask lasso.
Lasso. I'll have to make that. There we go. Okay. Okay, so I hit draw, control.
Oh wait, you changed it so it was more flat?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, well then you can use mask rectangle if you want.
Perfect.
There is a way that you can pivot your camera so it's somewhat flat, but this is fine.
So control and
click and drag.
Do I drag like this?
So
And
whichever.
Inflate a little. Ooh. Oh.
So let's say you want to select one of these polygroups, right? That's running around your thing. So whichever section of geometry is completely within the selection will be grayed out. It's going to feather it on either side too, right? So if you click and drag one line.
Sorry, I am struggling with the movement. Okay. Click and drag just one of the groups of...
Yeah.
Son of a gun. Oh, man.
What are you doing?
I
What are you struggling with?
I keep trying to click and drag, but then I'm just moving the camera, and then I try to control Z, but that doesn't undo your camera move. It just undoes your last thing.
Yeah, I remember those days.
What? Control to move, to zoom out, zoom back in. Okay, now control with the mask, and I'm selecting. Do I go around the rectangle, or?
Yeah, so just drag from the top to the bottom. and try and get like a full 2 rows. There you go. So you see some are less grey than others.
Yeah.
So now hit Control W.
Okay, so that isolates to like the most strong one.
Right. And then go through and space it out and do the same thing down your nozzle.
So do this, Control W. And then Control. They probably need to be every 2, huh? Probably.
Yeah, I mean, it does. I'm just showing it.
Control W. Control W. Control W. Okay.
All right. So you have some polygroups, right? You can utilize these now.
Okay.
So now I'm going to show you something called Z-Modeler, which is kind of like your hard-edged, I guess, like modeling tool.
All right.
The bottom left-hand side, you'll see it's a box with a plus and a minus next to it.
Got it.
Click that, and it's going to change your brush to something called Z-Modeler. Now, this is where ZBrush, they added this in after the fact, so it's not properly ingrained into the program, but it works. So Z-Modeler is, if you press spacebar, right, while you have this brush enabled, it's going to open. You have to be hovering over the model. It's going to show you like 1,000 million options.
Yeah.
So zoom in a little bit.
Control, zoom in. Okay.
And then move your brush around the thing, and it's gonna snap to 3 different types of points. It's gonna do an edge, a point, or a face.
Yeah.
So you see that?
Yeah.
Right? So those are the 2 different types of manipulating points that you can use. Z-Modeler uses a wide variety of types of ways that you can manipulate stuff. I don't use Z-Modeler a lot, so I can't say I'm like really advanced in it. It's incredibly powerful. Like, you can do all sorts of crazy shit with it. I was talking to a friend of mine, and he was saying how he's had to start using Z-Modeler a lot more just for like general construction, because it's a lot more easy to build stuff technically.
Okay.
So let's zoom in a little bit. Well, I guess you don't need to zoom in, but if you want to orbit so it's like slightly more isometric, I think it'd be easier for you to see what you're doing. You want to extrude these, sorry.
Yeah.
So let's say that first point. Yeah, that's probably a good view. So that first rib that you have there, right?
Yep.
See how it says Q mesh or poly?
Yep.
Click and drag that out.
Yep. Okay. I like this. This reminds me of what I used to do.
Right. So you see, it's just picked one.
Yeah.
Right? So while you're hovering over, press spacebar.
And behind and polygroup, or
so
polygroup.
Z-Modeler is laid out in 3 ways. You got the action, right, which is
yeah.
currently Q mesh, which you have selected. The target is what it's applying to. So right now you have a single poly selected. What you want to select is all of that particular poly group, which is everything that's that color. So you want to go to the very right-hand column, and it's underneath island. It says polygroup all.
Gotcha.
So have that selected. And then the next ones you don't really need to worry about as much right now, but there's ways that you can change the snapping and stuff like that. So now you're extruding just that polygroup. So for instance, click on the blue, the main polygroup that you have on that thing, right? It's going to extrude everything on that.
It did not. Oh, that time it did.
That's because you select the point. So Q mesh is just going to work on the face, right? So, and you can end up with a lot of like weird tearing and stuff like that. So if you go back, and then so you've extruded that first one. So extrude the first rib.
Okay.
and then you just click on the other polygroups. You don't need to drag, you just click, it's going to apply the same thickness.
Okay.
So it's going to repeat what you just did, basically.
Yeah.
Now, you can manually paint. I noticed you did it by accident. If you hold down Alt and click, you can manually paint a new polygroup. It also will assign polygroups to your new... I think there's a way that you can...
Well, you can also simplify things, too. You Alt and hit the line. Like
oh yeah, you're deleting edge loops, which is like
subdivide as well.
But you can see that you've fucked up the end of your cylinder.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah.
So let's say it's like, okay, cool. I've done my ribs. It's ribbed now for my pleasure.
Yes.
Let's say, and you can keep extracting on top of stuff and it'll just add, I think, well, mine's not adding a new polygroup. I forget there's some way to do...
How do I make this thing hollow?
I wouldn't probably do it fully hollow.
Right, but I want to get a little bit hollow. Like, how would I make a cone?
I'm going to show you right now. So, what you want to do, and this is like my quick and kind of cheap way to do it. So, click the bring it up so the end of that cylinder is like front onto the camera.
Yeah. Yeah. There we go.
So you can let's see. Sometimes you can get away with doing like actually, sorry, take it side on. Take it side on. The same angle that we had it before.
Yep.
So you could, if you had it face on, you could manually paint a new polygroup on the end. But what you need to do is click and drag and just get the very end of that cylinder.
All right.
And then hit Control.
So I'm using Control for a mask tool and drag in just the end piece. Okay. Yep, did that.
And then hit Control W.
Control W. Oh, so that just does this face.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the face now should be a separate...
Yeah, it's gold.
Okay. So now bring that so it's front onto the camera.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it doesn't need to be front on, but close enough.
Yep.
And then hover over the model.
Yep.
And then hit spacebar.
Space. Okay.
Oh, you don't have Z modeler selected anymore.
Yeah, sorry.
Go down and select
Yep.
Z modeler. And then hover over like one of the faces. And then go to inset.
Oh, for action.
Yeah. Inset for action and then polygroup all. And then whoa. Did you do polygroup all or did you just do that?
I did not. Polygroup all. Okay. Oh yeah, I see.
And then it'll inset that.
Like, yeah, like a shape.
Yeah.
So do that, and then we can...
And then go back to QMesh, which was what you were just using earlier.
QMesh down here, polygroup all, and then I can do that. Yeah.
Extrude it inwards. Now it's not, right? So extrude it maybe just, yeah, like that much is fine. And then go up to select the move tool, so or W, the gizmo. and then orbit it so you can see the inside of that cylinder.
Okay.
And then, hang on, I need to see if if this is actually gonna work. Do it real quick. I wonder if that poly group is the same as one of the others, though. That's
It
the
is.
thing.
It is. It's the same as my last ring.
Let's see. Okay, so shift click on the inside face of that cylinder. Let's see how many it shares it with.
Shift click.
While you have the draw function.
Well, I have
Draw
the draw function. Shift click.
Should hide.
Shift click. Shift click. Do I need the clay function? Shift click. Nope. Shift.
Sorry, control shift click.
Control shift click. Yeah, it's the two. It's the ring and the surface.
All right, so now rectangle select just one of them.
Okay.
But make sure you just have one of them selected.
Yeah, I did.
And then hit Control W. You'll divide the polygons.
W. And now
Control Shift click on the outside in the grey.
Yep.
You get the rest of your
Okay.
thing back. All right, now go back to Gizmo tool.
Gizmo tool.
And then shift click on that inside piece.
Control shift click. Yeah, control shift click.
Sorry, control shift click.
Yeah.
And then click on the very center dot part. Control shift click on the very center dot. And then you should be able to scale that with the, there you go. You get a little bit of a taper on the inside.
Yeah. Oof, okay.
So again, there'd be ways that you can probably do this that may actually be easier. I don't really know.
Can you
do a lot of
subtract objects from each other?
You can.
Because
You could use booleans and things like that.
Couldn't I have just taken the same cone and shrunk it down and moved it back a little bit and then just subtracted this cone from the other cone?
Yeah, you definitely could have, but it would be a different type of step that you would do. And if you're already doing hard edge modeling, this would technically be quicker since you're already using these tools.
I gotcha.
So that's why I would use like these types of things.
Oh, I put it off center.
Ah, you silly boy.
So yeah, that looks much more like it's censored. Okay. How do I
Cool.
I escape? Like, how do I just back out of stuff?
I don't think you can.
So I would have to hit the draw and then.
I typically would switch to draw.
Is there a hotkey for draw? Is it D? Nope.
It's Q.
Q. And is M the? What's the hotkey for move?
W. It's for Gizmo.
Q, W, E is.
So you actually
I
could
see.
assign those to hotkeys on your tablet if you end up using it.
Or the mouse.
Because you could change your buttons on your mouse if you wanted. So you've got the nozzle done, right?
Yeah.
So let's say you want to duplicate that. So Control Shift click on the outside of it. Make sure you don't have any. Control click, clear any masks that you may have, which I can see you have some.
Okay.
And then you want to duplicate that, right?
I do. But I want to angle it first. So
Okay, so, well, yeah.
I like
So you
W,
wanna angle.
unlock, reset, lock, go over to the blue and angle it like 5 degrees up, and then move it, and then move it in a little bit farther. That looks good. Front view, Q for draw, control click, control, okay. Now I take this piece, I click over here on the subtool.
You want to click the subtool you want to duplicate, and you want to hit Control Shift D.
Now it's gonna hotkey my stream. 1 second. Yep. And I select.
There's also the button above delete is duplicate.
Okay.
You can just use the duplicate button.
Oh, I just duplicated it a lot. Oh my gosh.
Okay, yeah, that's too many. You don't need that many.
The
other thing too is if you look at the top middle, it says active points is only 1,368.
Yeah.
That's like really good when you're working fast. You don't want like, whoa, okay. How many did you make?
I was holding down Control Shift T apparently. Do I have to delete these one at a time?
Okay, hold on.
Can I just Control Z my way out of the situation? Yes, I can. No, I can't.
So click the top one.
Okay, hold on.
Click the top one, and then hit clone, which is above. So make sure you have your top.
The top. Yes, I have 3D1.
Okay, so click that one, and then at the top you'll see above on the right hand side there's something that says clone. It's next to below import. It's next. So hit clone. Alright, and then click the thruster above it and hit clone.
Okay.
It's cloning that subtool into a new tool. And then scroll down while you've got that selected. Scroll down a little bit to delete. Next to delete, there's delete other and there's delete all. Hit delete all.
Why is there a star?
Alright. For some reason it always defaults to that. And then in the tool palette, select your trapezoid.
Okay.
Trapezoid for you, Scott.
I drag and drop it
down. And then you can append. No, there's no dragging and dropping in this program, alright? Not some fancy app. So when you have the trapezoid selected, hit append, and your little thruster will show up as something that you can append in.
Ah, okay. Okay. Right.
So I should explain this. So the top menu bar, the top selection of shapes are tools. Okay, there's tools and there's subtools. A tool is essentially a project, right? So you could, for instance, if you wanted to, you could load in one of my sculpts as a tool. And then when you select a tool, it'll show all the subtools available. I should have explained that at the start, sorry.
Yeah, maybe.
So now just hit duplicate only a couple of times.
So, okay, I just want to click it. I don't want to Control Shift.
Yeah.
Where is it? Down here. Duplicate.
It's right above delete.
3, 4.
And that was a huge. There's a reason why I don't use the button. I always use this hotkey because once I deleted something that I didn't mean to delete. So now what we want to do is we want to mirror. You can drag and then you can rotate at 180 degrees if you want.
I did that for one. Or
you can mirror. So the very middle of the top bar, there's a mirror. Right? So if you hit that, very middle of the top, very top interface bar, middle of your screen, top and middle of your screen. Mirror.
I found it. Okay.
So just hit.
Oh, I just put it right over here.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so much more accurate than my other one.
It can be sometimes. Sometimes you get like weird things where it'll be like, oh, I'm gonna mirror it like ages away. Because I think it goes from the center of the document or something.
Okay, so how do I... This one I would move.
That one you would move and rotate 90 degrees.
And then I could mirror it.
Right, but then you would
So-
mirror it along the...
I can reset it to where it's up and down, and then...
Yeah.
They're kind of like off-center, right? I think they're like...
Yeah.
Yeah, they're slightly off-center. Oh my gosh! Alright. I'd rotate it 90. Go back to top-down view. Push it. Oh, push it out like here, and then I can mirror. No.
No, so you've mirrored it along the x-axis.
So what?
So you can change it to the y-axis.
Well,
Let's
I
see
need
what
to. I need to duplicate this one, right?
No.
Oh, you can
Why
mirror
would you
from
need
where it's
to?
at.
Why would? Which one are you trying to mirror?
The bottom one across the top, but I want to leave one at the bottom too.
Oh yeah, then yes, you would
Okay, so I select that, and then I go
duplicate.
on the Y. Nope, wasn't Y. It was Z. There we go. Oh, and now I have to mirror it on the Y again. There we go. Beautiful.
Okay. So yeah, mirror is something you'll use a lot. And there's mirror and weld. So just out of interest, hit mirror and weld over the x-axis. See what happens.
It made another one.
Right. So that's gonna. Sometimes, like if you want to remake your symmetry, you can kind of do that sort of stuff. So you can just undo that.
Yep.
All right. So use your move functions to square those up a bit.
Square them up a bit. What are you talking about?
Are they like supposed to be in the center of the box, or are they?
See the boxes? They're like kind of off center actually.
Okay, that's fine. Cool. All right, so let's do those little like plate push out things. So you want to dynamesh this guy. Probably if I was doing this over, I would have probably done it with like full hard edge, but we've divided it down. So go up to dynamesh, the top. Actually, so select your main trapezoid.
Okay.
Leave the thrusters undynameshed. And this is a good way for you to show how it alters the geometry. And then go up to your dynamesh at the top and dynamesh it up to try 300 or something. And then hit the dynamesh button.
Whoa. It just dynameshed like a ton of stuff.
So it's changed it to 1.38 million polys. But you see how it's changed the geometry? It's all very clean geometry. Yeah. So undo that and then dynamesh it to 200.
$600,000.
That'll be fine, just for now.
Okay.
And then you don't want to use the lines while you've got the polygroups showing up because it's so much geometry there. So turn the lines off. But I like to have the colors sometimes because if I'm working with a lot of parts, it can get a little overwhelming sometimes. It's a good habit to use the polygroups a lot. So let's say you want to make these little bump out box things, right?
Yeah.
Because they're the same on each side. So you can use your rectangle select to select when you're in the plan view.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just drag and select a section that you want to extrude out as a.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, that's fine.
There we go. Okay.
So in this case, you've got the bottom of it selected too. So you probably...
I see.
So if you want to remove a section while you have the mask tool selected, if you hold down Control and Alt at the same time, you can minus out areas of the selection.
I see.
So if you select an area and then like Control Alt, you can like remove the bottom, or you could remove like, if you're doing like sci-fi paneling and stuff, you could like clip out little areas.
Yeah. Okay. And now I want to inflate that area. You
can inflate. Yeah. This is me showing you like, this is the simple like rough and tumble way to do it. So you want to invert your mask. There you go. And then inflate just like a section out. And it should do it on both sides.
Yeah, it has.
Cool. And then deselect the mask. So click and drag outside of your model.
Okay.
And then I think it looks like it's got some plates on the other side too.
I wanna change what I've done. Hold on a second.
So you can Control Z those.
Yep, and then so this has like Control Z. So I want to like mask off like some corners here. Yeah, and now I'll inflate. Nope. I'll inflate. Nope. There we go. Okay, and then I do the other side.
Mm-hmm.
How do I make like a non-square thing?
There's a couple of ways you can do it. Typically, if I was doing it like the long way, it would be probably like setting out like polygroups for it. Again, I would probably do it a different way if I did it over again, but you can select a rectangle. Well, yeah, what would be the best way to do that? Let me try real quick on my screen. Oh, something else that's really useful. So click and drag a rectangle mask. And then while you have it, while you're still holding down Control and you're still holding down click, hold down spacebar, and you can actually move the mask anywhere you want.
So if like, I want something that's that big, and then you move it over. Yeah.
Right. It's pretty handy for that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And again, I'm like really lazy when it comes to like my Okay, so select a rectangle in the center there.
Okay.
And then what you want to do is hold down Control and go up the top of the mask selections and select the mask curve brush.
Okay, select masks, hold Control up here.
It's the second
mask
one
curve.
in.
Yep.
Yeah, mask curve. And then click the top of the very top of your. Well, don't do that. Control Z.
Yeah.
So click the very top left-hand corner of your mask.
Okay.
While you're holding down Control.
Oh, it didn't like that.
What did you do?
It doesn't like this at all.
Did you crash your program? I think you did.
Kind of looks like it.
Glitch. This will be the most important lesson you'll ever learn in ZBrush.
Oh no.
When you lose all your work because you didn't save it.
All I did was click one single point. I didn't even drag or
anything. So I've done this before. So what you've got is you've got Z modeler selected, and you've Q meshed every poly that you have on there. So it's definitely going to crash, but we'll see if it saves it.
So wait, it's Q. What does Q mesh mean?
You're extruding every single poly that you've got. So all 603,000 polys, it's trying to extrude all of that.
Well, that's not too bad.
Yeah, well, this will be the longest stream in Blacksite history. It'll be 18 hours. No, it'll probably just lock up and you'll need to...
Here, I'll turn on my super fans to give it some... Oh, son of a gun. Wait to respond. You can do it. I'll give you another time. Another 30 seconds, baby.
Oh dear.
Turn on the super fans.
Well, it was fun. I don't know if we will make it available to watch later, honestly, Scott. I don't love having these things hosted online. Just purely because, like, I don't really know if I'm teaching people the right way.
Yeah, but it's date night, man. Electric evening. Okay, I'm just gonna close it.
Yeah, I think it's done. So anyway,
look, there it is. I modeled it. Look how good it looks. It's
yay. Okay, open up ZBrush again and see if it's recovered any of it.
Oh, get rid of this. The most recent abnormally, you may view the available quick saves.
So hit
like
OK.
Quick saves.
Hit OK, and then double click that. Yeah, it hasn't saved that much of your stuff, but you may have. And then click QS14.
Hey, that's not bad.
Well, at least you got the nozzle, right? Which is what we spent the most time on. Okay, so you want to bring the config back up. So you go to Preferences, Config.
I have to do this every time.
Yeah. I think there's a way that you can go into like the actual config files and make it so it shows up.
All right. All right, so I can replace. Well, let me just see. Let me see if I've learned.
So let's just for lessons purposes, we won't bother about duplicating them all around.
Yeah.
So select your main trapezoid.
Where's like my subtool menu? Oh, I see.
You got it. Yeah, you got it. It's like
got it. Okay.
And then go to the end of it. So you can hide subtools too. So you see the little eyeball next to the nozzles subtool is turned off.
Oh, I see.
So you can like turn it back on.
All right, so I make a mat. That's not the mask I want. I want mask rectangle. Nope. There we go. Okay, so I'm making a mask. Look. Okay, so do I need to divide it to get more polys here?
Oh yeah. You want to Dynamesh it.
I always keep with one round on my desk. Sorry, it's Control D or I Control D or I Dynamesh. I Dynamesh.
Dynamesh it to like 150 maybe. 200 might be too much.
I did 128.
All right. Before we do anything else, Control S.
If I Dynamesh something, I've Dynameshed. Is it like?
You can Dynamesh up and down.
But like, if I Dynamesh to 200 and then I select 200 and Dynamesh again, am I adding 200 on top of what I've already done?
No, it'll like take the geometry and like mess with the new geometry. I think it might increase the polys if you've like added to the shape.
Okay, file. Nope. Save as.
Yeah, just Control S.
Oh, okay.
It'll open up the little dialog box. Just save it. Connor's trapezoid. And then you can save a project and you can save a tool. Just for now, while you're learning, just save your projects.
Okay, it is
Once we get into tool usage, it'll be a different story.
All right, so I'm making a mask here.
Yeah.
Yep, and I want to get some like sci-fi space lines on it.
Okay. So you can select out areas of that. So you can minus out, Control Alt to mask.
Yep.
Right. And then obviously you can inflate.
Right, but I want like a 45-degree angle.
Oh, so go hold down Control and then change your mask type to mask curve.
Okay.
And then click the top left corner of your mask and drag it down. And it's gonna, the curve will select anything below that line, right? See what I'm saying? And if you drag up and down, it changes from left to right. So the black shaded line will be on opposite sides of the dotted line.
Okay, so I would do this, and then, not that, this, and then I would center my view and get rid of this bottom stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, you got it.
I have to change the tool though, back to rectangle, and then clean up this side, and then click
this
that
is not...
and inflate.
Yeah.
Oh, see, that looks pretty cool.
Yeah. This is like your very basic hard edge stuff. There's cleaner ways we can do that. So, okay, actually, so go back one. Go back before you inflated it, but when you have it selected.
Okay.
And hit Control W when you have it masked, and you'll make two different polygroups. And then if you turn on the polygroups on the side, the line fill.
Oh, and then I could use Z Modeler?
You could use Z Modeler. You wouldn't probably want to when you have this much geometry though, because it's not a clean way to do it. You can use things like edge loops. You can use things like it allows you to select and kind of use it in a different way. It's just a better habit to get into when you're kind of doing this sort of stuff, to like try and work with clean polygroups, even if you don't really require them. So
if I wanted to make this sort of looking thing, I would do that, and then...
And remember, you can move your mask if you hold down spacebar while you've got the selections as well.
Mask, curve. I'd make one that goes like here, and not there, more like... Nope. Nope. Like that, and then I would get rid of this and this, and then select this at like a slight, slight angle here. Oh, I guess it'd be easier just to like hold Alt and do like the inverse of, yeah, that's much easier. Okay, so I hit Control, make it a big square, like over this whole thing, and then I can go into Curve and get rid of everything on the outsides that I don't want. Oops.
Joke's on you, Scott. There's no giveaway today.
And then...
This is what happens when we stream on off days.
I can't move that mask once I've like masked it, huh?
No.
Okay, so I have to actually do that. This isn't the like most accurate way of doing it. Alright, that's enough of like that shape. And then I can hit Control W. Yep. Okay. And then Q. Yep. and I can move it, and then I can... How do I select just this, like, poly subgroup?
So, with the gizmo tool selected, so hit W, and then shift click on that poly group, and it'll mask out just that poly group.
Control shift click.
Yeah, sorry, control shift click.
Doing the other side?
And you can actually, instead of inflating, you can actually just move it out.
Yeah. So just...
But inflate is probably potentially better. Because, like, you're going to be moving one in and one out, which is, like, kind of awkward.
Oh, that's weird. Oh, I see what's happening. Okay. So I can inflate just a poly group? Yeah.
Yeah, you probably... Yeah, because you have it masked. Yeah, it's true, Scott. You should know all that you need to know about sausage.
Whoa, it's doing some funky
Wait.
stuff.
What are you doing?
So it's like pushing one side out more than the other?
Yeah, because it's not centered. The gizmo is not centered. It goes from the center of the gizmo, not the center of the geometry. So that's why inflate is probably a cleaner option for you.
That's what I'm doing. Inflates. Also, they're not what did I do here?
Yeah, you kind of messed that one up, didn't you?
I don't know what happened right there. Okay, hold on.
What are you doing? Why are you undoing it all?
Because I think this was cleaner without going into the subgroups. Yeah, it is. Not sure what happened on that side though. Like, I'm not sure why it didn't be symmetrical, you know? Anyways.
So you probably had symmetry turned on. So symmetry probably like cut itself out. So that's pretty much the basics. With these tools, in theory, you could make anything that you wanted. And if you do it, here's the thing: if you're doing it for miniatures, you do not need to worry about complex details, right? But if obviously, I have no idea what this is for. You just wanted to make. I mean, none of what I'm teaching you is probably what you want to be using. So, if you came here to actually learn how to 3D model, then joke's on you. You just got gypped. That's it.
Wow.
I would say end of lesson.
I'm forgetting how to do stuff.
All right. Well, ask me. What are you trying to do?
So I moved this piece over here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Duplicated it. That's looking good. But when I duplicated it again, like you see what's happened. Like it's like, oh wait, is it because? Yeah. So like the part is over here, but my gimbal.
So you want to go to unmasked center in the bottom bar. Go to unmasked center will.
Ah, that's right.
Snap the gizmo to the middle of the.
Alright, so I go top view. I'm gonna move it over. Gonna rotate it 90. Gonna move it up and in, over. Then I can hit duplicate. And this thing I can mirror. Nope. Mirror across the Y. Nope. Across the
Z axis.
Mirror. Why? Okay. Well, I don't know why it was doing that.
So you have one of your subtools hidden. So if a hidden subtool you've selected, it'll show. Right?
Hey. Okay. Now back to the other thing. I go here and just want to like make a simple little panel. I would just
I
control.
think someone's at the door. I'll be back in 1 sec.
All right.
Yeah, just use your masking and stuff to do that. So remember, just control mask it out, and then you can use the other mask, the curve mask function. I'll be back in a second.
All right. Check that out. If you hit control at each new point, you can make like a curvy shape. Oh, it went terribly wrong.
Okay, what are you doing?
You hit control, like if you toggle control as you're drawing your shape, it does weird things.
So it's like a curve, like from Illustrator.
Yeah. Okay, so undo that, and then, oh, okay, I got this. I need to do this one thing to prove that I know what I'm doing, which is a great folly, I'm sure.
I think anytime I've always tried to like learn a new program, I always very specifically identify what exactly I'm trying to do. You know what I'm saying? And I don't worry about anything that's not relevant to that task, if that makes sense. So to make this thruster, I didn't need to teach you how to use, you know, an insert mesh brush to like insert a hand or something. You know what I'm saying? There's no point in me showing you how to use that. If you ever need to, though, I can show you, but you know.
Okay.
So switch to your rectangle if you're trying to select out areas like that. It's going to be cleaner.
Why did that happen?
All right, you'll get there.
Look at it wiggle. Look how
The rectangle is going to be cleaner for you.
Yeah.
To do.
That's rectangle.
Look at that doing a little dance. Look, it's Theo Spencer.
I don't know how far I'm sticking this. Oh no. Okay. All right. Back to this front view. And then I need to cut off the top. So control, cut away like that much probably. Nope. Need to do the other one. That much probably. Nope. Still not right. There we go. Okay. So no control, just normal. There we go. And then that comes out a bit. Yes. Okay. Great. And now I click off of that subtool. All right.
No, you want to deselect the mask. So control,
right.
drag.
Yeah, that's what I... Okay.
Control.
There we go. Okay. Cool.
Look at you, little sculpting boy.
Gosh.
So, top, just for interest's sake, the very top bar.
Yeah.
On the right side next to Dynamesh, there's merge visible.
Okay. So I click it.
Click that. Yeah. And you'll see the top will make a new tool. Okay. So the top thing, it'll be everything together. It's not Dynameshed, but we'll Dynamesh all this together.
Alright, so do I go to that tool?
Yeah, so click that tool and then Dynamesh it at just like 128 or something.
Alright. Neat. Now what?
And then zoom in. Is it actually dynameshed or?
I thought so. Did it not?
Sometimes if you click the thing, it like... I think so. Oh yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, cool. Nice. So that's your little...
My RCS thruster.
I'll show you a trick that... I'll show you a trick that a friend of mine showed me. So dynamesh it at like... So click Control Z before you dynameshed it.
Control Z for the okay, it is now undynameshed.
Okay, so dynamesh it at like
5,000.
No, fuck no. No. Even 1,000 is too many. Just do like 350 or something. 400, 350, 400.
Okay.
Probably be like a million and a quarter polys or something.
2.7. Now what?
2.7 million. Okay, so then go down and inflate it. Inflate the entire thing, like two or three. Is that too many?
Oh, I see. So it's just like making it slightly organic. It's like adding a chamfer on every single
yeah,
edge.
so you inflate it like 1 or 2. I can't see it because you've got the boxes over it.
Yeah.
How many did you do?
I did. I don't know. It was like 3 or 4.
Okay, and then we're going to polish it. So then go to your right-hand sidebar, and then collapse the subtool by clicking on the subtool title at the very top.
Surface.
And then go down. There's below surface. There's deformation, deformation, polish to like. Try like 4. See what happens.
Didn't really look like much happened, to be honest.
Try 10.
I did 20 and it didn't like that. Oh,
Yeah, you probably
ooh,
crashed
that looks really good though. That's starting to.
crashed your program.
No, that's good.
So you've because we never polished up those original like the thrusters. They have like the obvious geometry.
Yeah.
Matt, don't tell people Linked Play's coming yet. It's a secret. His new game, Linked Play, it's where you basically just like link everyone together into a human centipede. Yeah, that's basically your first 3D model. Look at you.
I mean,
Claps for Connor, guys. He's done it.
yay! I mean, I think that's.
First ZBrush lesson.
Listen, is it obviously a lot to go? Yeah, but like, you could print that out and slap it on the side of something.
For sure.
You know?
I guess there's some little rivets that we never added, but I can show you those at another time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is basic, just very basic ZBrush stuff. If you want to learn, then I suggest getting on YouTube, and there's like way more good intro to ZBrush things. The difference is that like a lot of the people that do the ZBrush tutorials, they don't sculpt miniatures. So it's like they teach you a lot of shit that you don't really need to know per se. It's like when I was learning, I was just like, I just want to learn only what is applicable to what a miniature sculptor would do. You know, like I don't need to learn about colors, and like the other side of ZBrush is you can paint objects. It's a crazy, it's a crazy powerful program. But you'll never use that.
Human Centipede for Linked Play, the game.
Nice. So I guess I'll show you out of interest, just like
It's been a long time since I've had to like actively learn a new program.
I like learning new stuff. I've
Especially-
always enjoyed learning new stuff.
Like, because, you know, you like learn controls for games and stuff, but it's the same. Like, using control and alt along with my right click to, like, move stuff around
It's
is like,
all repetition.
I feel my brain, like, not struggling, but, like, my brain is tired from having to consciously think about that sort of stuff.
Right.
When, like, an illustrator, I can just fly around, and I don't know exactly, like, what buttons do what, because I'm so used to clicking.
Well, yeah, if you treat it the same way as when you were learning Illustrator, it's just the difference is you're adding an extra dimension, essentially.
Yeah.
You know? So the tools and stuff like that is, if you go to your top, oh man, I just, like, fucking crashed my program.
Oh, I
think.
need to sign the bottom of it. I'll get up my tablet to give a proper signature here.
No, you don't need to sign it.
There we go. I signed it.
Good boy.
Now,
So let's load in a tool of like something that I have made. So if you go to the top right hand corner, click Load Tool.
okay.
And then I dropped. Hang on, it might be uploading to OneDrive right now. Give it like a second.
Which folder is it in?
It's in the same folder the config file was in.
Oh man. It's so weird being on this wide screen and like not using all of it. Ah, there it is. Open.
All right, so load tool, load that ghost face Z tool into ZBrush.
I want to attach those all. Yeah, just a giant. What did they use? CO2? I'm pretty sure they like.
Rusting?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Because they scrub CO2, right? And I'm pretty sure they keep it, like, they contain it and then use that for thrusting like that.
I think so.
It sounds right.
It might be like nitrogen or something.
It's taking a while to download. It's 50% there. Almost.
So, no releases this week. Connor and I have been so fucking slammed with working on Luna right now. We're like crunch time with Luna. We got the layout kind of done. It's still in playtesting right now. We're still working on it, but the layout's kind of done. We're at that stage where we're starting to like finalize a lot of the stuff. I did all the art for the cosmonaut cards the other day. Stayed up till like 4 in the morning and did it all, which was pretty sick. I'm pretty hype about it. I think it's coming along really nicely. All right, so this is here's one I prepared earlier for any of you people that are gonna buy Horror Pack C. So this is a tool. So click Subtools and you'll see see the different shapes, right?
Yeah.
So if you turn on the polygroup thing, it'll show you. It makes it a lot more obvious. You turn polygroups on, so the line fill thing, and as you like clicking down. This kind of shows you like how I use my shapes when I'm making stuff. So it's like it's pretty rough. It looks pretty rough now, and then I'll like merge it together, dynamesh it, and then smooth areas out and add some additional details if I have to.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much the principles, though, are very similar. Like a lot of those things, like the like the arms and the like the sleeves and stuff, they're just cylinders.
Yeah, you deformed them, and
So
then you went in with like the clay tool
right,
and like
it's- yeah,
sculpted in these lines and
right,
stuff.
exactly. Now the robe was a lot more complex. I did like my mate showed me how to do that, and he showed me like how he would do it for when he's doing his sculpts for his big company. So yeah, that's it. The principles don't change, right? Just the application is different, and it's the exact same. So
where is the oh, there it is. Oh wow, look at this. It's like, I don't even know. There's like stuff there. There's like a bunch of pieces.
right, there's like unused bits, because as I'm going through, I'm duplicating some parts that and there's like unused geometry from my like dolly,
Oh, okay.
But I mean, you're probably not really interested in like sculpting per se, right?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, typically with any sort of design, I'd lean towards like a more technical, hard body idea.
Right.
So
You'd be so like, it's weird. So like, well, I mean, here's an example of something that if you go to the tool, the cylinder, it's next to the star. Select that.
Yeah.
And then even if you're doing hard edge stuff, so Control D that like twice.
Okay.
Maybe 2 more times.
Okay.
And then hit let's see. Hit X to turn on your symmetry.
Mm-hmm.
And then make sure local symmetry in the sidebar is turned on. It's underneath your thing. And then hit B, C, H. It's going to open a brush called Chisel. All right, so this is if you're doing hard edged like panel lines and stuff.
Yeah.
So click and drag one like
Right.
some lines.
I did that, and it's just like moving my thing around as if I was right clicking.
Huh. How did you do this? I can't believe you've done this. So hit B again.
B. B as in boy.
How did you manage that? Do you have the thing on the tablet or something? Are you like messing with the tablet?
The pin is like right here.
Select the move tool at the top, hit W.
Okay, draw. Nope, still. What if I just hit Control Z a few times? Nope. Definitely locked myself into this somehow.
Hit like Control Alt, that kind of thing. Shift. Is it deselecting you out of it?
Please convert this 3D primitive to a polymesh 3D by make polymesh 3D in the tool palette.
Oh yeah, do that.
How do
hit top? Yeah, sorry, this isn't a polymesh. Hit the top right.
Okay. Oh, I see.
Okay, now let's hit BCH. All right, undo that. Hit BCH. All right, so now you should be able to drag some nice, pretty clean lines. And you've got something what's called lazy mouse turned on, which is like it lags behind. So it makes it really easy to like actually do pretty sick like geometry.
I see.
There's some other tricks I can show you when or if you need to use that sort of stuff. But all right, I think that's the lesson for today, dude. I need to get back and keep designing kits. So,
Like I made a square thing.
yeah, cool. Look at you.
I did
Yeah,
it.
if you hold down Shift, it like snaps. Yeah, there you go. Cool.
I made. Oh jeez, no, what's happening here? I'm
So
smoothing it
even
out.
if, oh no,
I smoothed it out. I did a smooth.
cool. Cool story, bro.
All right. Neat.
Yeah, nice. So that's that.
Oof. Okay. Well, good
Intro to
lesson.
ZBrush. I would just mess around with it a bit more now. See if you can like make the movement functions a bit more intuitive to you. Because I think the more you do it, the better you'll get at it.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. That's all you get.
Well, thank you
Thanks
for the lesson.
tuning in.
Thanks everyone for hanging out. We'll see you all probably Tuesday. We'll probably stream this Tuesday, but we'll see.
Maybe. Wait. Hang on. Let me check my calendar. Yeah, because we don't have the new Don't Look Back sets launching the week after the next week. So.
Yeah, so probably streaming Tuesday.
Yeah.
So we hope to see you guys there.
Cool.
Thanks for hanging out. Auto save in progress. Thanks, ZBrush. You're the best. And we'll catch you guys later.
Goodbye, everyone. Have a good life.